welcome back to the Off-Grid family. Today I'm still continuing on with the power pack, but I'm just going to talk you through the basic heart of it, which is the power supply unit from an old computer. These things are amazing, and if you're anything like me, you'll have a few of them lying around from computers you've taken apart in the past. If not, they're between £6 and £10 on the internet. They're not expensive, and they're set out in such a perfect way that it means you can have different voltages and various things, and it can supply not just a power pack, but you can use them for various projects around your house and, you know, whatever. So let's get on, I'll talk you through it. Okay, so this is basically a power pack from an old computer, and this is exactly how it would be to come out of a computer, except I've cut off a few of the leads, a few of the connectors, sorry. And the reason these are used so often is they're quite safe to use. They're simple and they're very easy to get your head round. They take what we call a kettle lead, and basically you'll notice that there's lots of different coloured leads, and the beauty of that is each one has a different purpose, and there's loads and loads of reference material online that tells you exactly what each one of these is for. I'll start off by showing you the green one. The green one is basically the on-off button, and once that is paired to ground, so if you put a switch here, once the switch is to ground, that is now on. So that's a very easy way of making it so you can turn your power pack or whatever you're making on and off. The purple's the standby wire, and what that means is when this is not connected to ground, when basically your power pack is off, this is still giving 5 volts. So you can have this powering something all the time. So for example, say you had an Arduino set up inside your power pack or whatever it is, this could always be giving it power whether you've got the power pack on or not. Okay, next. I'm trying to untangle them so I can make it easier to see. This blue one. This is 12 volts. But it's a very, very low amperage, and I don't tend to use it. I tend to ball that up and get rid of it. This grey one gives off 5 volts when the power pack is on, and it's a very good one. Basically, it gives 5 volts as long as everything inside is working fine. So it's a good one to use for having an LED indicator to say, you know, your power pack's on, your power pack's off. So I will wire that up to an LED. So that I've got an indication to tell me that my power pack is on and working absolutely fine. Now we go on to the more standard ones. Orange is 3.3 volts. Black is obviously ground. The red are 5 volts. And the yellow are 12 volts. And you will notice we have quite a few of each of the colours. So it comes in really handy, especially, you know, I've seen a lot of people just cut most of them off and then just have a couple of connectors on the actual case of the power pack, and they've just done it as a very, very simple 3.3, 5 volts and 12 volts out, job done. But you can go as, you know, as technical as you want. And for example, I power some 12 volt lights upstairs from one of these and a power pack. So, you know, there's enough power leads to do a lot of different things, and the beauty of it is just how simple it is. Once you get your head around these wires, it's very, very straightforward. So the second you know that connecting the green one to ground is the on-off button, you've now got access to 3.3, 5 and 12 volts easily and safely. You know, I still wouldn't lick it, but it's, you know, it's safe enough to use. When it comes to doing my power pack, I will work out exactly how many of the wires I need for each part, add them all up, make sure I've got enough for it, and then I will start wiring them in. So for example, this here's the voltage regulator, and I will have this wired up to 12 volts. And it just means that then I can have anywhere from 3 volts all the way up to about 30 volts, and it's safe, and it just means that I'll have all the power I need for most of the projects I use. When it comes to this one, which is the 3.3, 5s and 12 volts, I would just wire them up accordingly. And it's as straightforward as that, you know, soldering them to the corresponding wires, and we've got that sorted out. So it's very, very simple. Once you get your head around which colours do what, and as I say, there's a lot of reference material online, it just means that you can wire up anything you want. You know, there's so many possibilities for it, and it just means that you've got all the most commonly used, you know, voltages for your, you know, tinkering and doing your jobs. Now, I was going to unscrew this and show you the insides and so on, but I think that's surplus to requirement. I don't think there's any need to do that. I will say to you, they are so cheap now. If you don't have one of these lying around, buy one. They are between £6 and hundreds, you know, but you only need a cheap one. And on it, it will tell you how many of each of the wires that they've got, but it's sometimes written differently. But it's so simple to work out, and you can use it for so many things, as I say. Okay, so there you go. That's the insides and the outsides and the workings of a computer power supply. They are so handy, and before I knew about, you know, how handy and how useful they were, I'd power my projects with various different things. I've actually got one upstairs that powers multiple things, so it is a really handy thing. And because of how cheap they are now, you know, even if you don't have them from taking apart old computers, it's worth buying one new. That's all I'm going to do on my benchtop power supply till after Christmas. But there will be a video out on Monday, which is Christmas Day. I release all my videos on Monday, so, you know, I'll still release one, but it won't be to do with the power pack. But just after Christmas we'll have more, and hopefully we'll get it finished in the next couple of episodes, but we shall see. Anyway, have a great Christmas, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.